Hello, everyone. I am delighted, as usual, to find people to bring to you who are truly extraordinary and unique, as I have the opportunity to go around the country, the world, to encounter these people. And we've talked about him before, but our video got messed up. And so I'm here with Gabriel Lopez, who is the inventor of a very unique system of health, of being your optimal fitness self. His website is perform6.com.
Yes.
Okay. And I got to put on my glasses here and read what you need to know about him, because I don't want to miss anything. And this is somebody you should follow. He can do, and I have a lot of patients that I refer to him who help, he helps them with medical, with strength, with bone, with all sorts of retraining and regeneration, and people who have all sorts of medical problems, etc. But his training method is what is truly unique versus all the other people that we've all encountered over the years. And just to give you a little info about what a treat it is to be here with him. He's been teaching strength and conditioning in his very unique methodology for the past 25 years. He's the only trainer to have coached a former #1 golfer in the world, a Mr. Olympia. He's got a degree in exercise physiology. He's a certified strength and conditioning specialist. He holds a lot of certifications through the Titleist Performance Institute, which is something that is quite an achievement, I happen to know. He's also I happen to know, also blessedly, an exclusive clientele list of athletes, pro and otherwise, from the PGA Tour, the NFL, the NCAA, the Professional Bodybuilders Association, and I've seen him revive Lazarus from the dead, as I like to say, with people of every age. So we're delighted that I'm blessed to have access to you. So
thank you, Julie.
Here's what.
It's quite the introduction. Thank you so much.
Well, look, it's my pleasure. So what I'm interested in is, first and foremost, because being a doctor, health, okay? I mean, everybody knows that you have to exercise for health and beauty. But what I'm trying to promote always is quality longevity.
Sure.
I'm trying to revive people's bones. Look, I've got people who have all sorts of bone density issues.
Sure, of course.
And that's something that truly I believe, and I'm going to let you speak to it after I talk about all the medical conditions, and I want you to address what you're seeing is the people who have bone density issues, men and women, which lead to joint replacements, which lead to fractures. And so what exercise and your unique methodology does for that.
Sure.
People have metabolic syndrome, which we talk about, because, look, I've got people who go to trainers, they do this and that, they get on the treadmill, they get on the bicycle, but it's not working.
Sure.
I've got, we want to particularly hit on the core issue,
Sure.
because apropos the core issue, number one, it's preventing injury, whether you be a pro athlete or just are trying to keep yourself going until you drop dead after a good party at 120, whatever.
Yeah.
But also, look, I've got women, apropos of the core, that their bladder falls out, okay? They've had children, bladder falls out. That's a core issue.
Sure, of course.
And people don't know about that. Then you've got the men who have the big stomachs that, over the years, and what that does for injuries. I listen to people all the time who've got back issues, sciatica, joint issues, etc.
Sure.
So I want to address all those things from your point of view. I mean, we all know diet is essential. So let's talk about bones and core and metabolic syndrome.
Yeah, of course. First of all, thank you so much. I'm honored and grateful to be here. biggest thing is most people address fitness and all the things, the challenges that Julia mentioned. Most people address it as almost like a menu picking, where I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and they think they're going to solve that particular problem. Yeah. But it's actually a system. And when I was coaching PJ Singh on the PGA Tour and working with them extensively, I pretty much lived with them for 6 months, year over year, and did all these different things with him to help him age gracefully to optimize performance. But
to win,
exactly.
For all you golfers out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but improving performance is a system, and it has to be addressed that way. It can't be just, I'm just going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and expect amazing outcome to become. So just imagine, it's almost like, use an analogy, making a cake. If you imagine if you made a cake and you only use, say, 25% of the ingredients and they were done in the wrong order, imagine what that cake would turn out like and what it tastes like. It would taste terrible and it wouldn't rise at all, really. Right. So that's how most people address their fitness. They only use essentially 25% of what the main ingredients are of fitness. And there's actually 6 major ingredients that have to be encompassed in every specific fitness recipe per se. And they also have to be just like a cake. They have to be done in a specific sequence.
And they have to do, like, we're sitting here also surrounded by all sorts of fitness equipment. Look, I see people when I go to the gym, when I'm not here, that they're doing a little bit of weights, a little bit of, what's this TRX system, okay? But I watch them versus, I can't help but watch them versus what I see when I train with you.
Sure, of course.
And I see how they're doing things wrong, how they're increasing their risk. And then also the other thing I forgot to touch on, which we need to touch on, is look, in today's world, and certainly with me, it's absolutely the same. Look, I spend my whole day leaning over patients, leaning over a computer, and it's one of the things that is so preventable to see these older people with their bone density and leaning over, and it leads, basically it ultimately increases to their faster demise. It
does, yes.
And so let's talk about that one as well, about...
it's actually improving lower body posture and upper body posture is very simple, which I'll be able to kind of elaborate that. So it's really, it encompasses 2 things. We need lower body posture. Can we hip extend through the hips? And then can we retract our shoulder blades? So I'll give you, when I do my demonstration, I'll make it really simple, where it's, okay, if you do these certain key simple moves, you'll be able to correct lower body posture and upper body posture imperfections.
And so what we're bringing as well when Gabe does the demo are things that you can do at home. Absolutely. You can learn, plus on his website you can get more instructions, and these things are essential not only for improving all the conditions we've talked about. And another one I want to hit on again as well is metabolic syndrome, but to reverse disease, reverse all the degradation is really what it is. Absolutely. That you've sustained. So talk about metabolic syndrome for a second, because that's a huge issue in women and in men and in young people now.
Yeah, so that is a huge issue, Julia. So hormones are going to be off. Metabolic syndrome, as far as just your metabolism no longer working for you, right? So absolute major problem. First thing foremost, you want to see, okay, how is that individual sleeping? Okay, is that person getting 3-4 hours of sleep, or are they getting great sleep as well? They could use a Whoop, where they're measuring their sleep number for the night. So addressing sleep first and foremost, also hydration. Are they getting half their body weight in ounces of water a day? So those 2 major things outside of even nutrition would be the starting point. Second would be to say, okay, from a nutrition standpoint, how much live foods are they getting in? How inflammatory are the foods that they're consuming?
And live foods are the cruciferous vegetables, green vegetables, all the things that everybody who follows anything I do know that they should be eating.
Yep, and how is your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio? Which that we can have a whole nother talk about that right there. But biggest thing is managing inflammation and making sure you're taking in mostly anti-inflammatory omega-3 type based foods versus your inflammatory omega-6s. So and
also apropos of inflammation and metabolic syndrome is look, exercise makes you happy. It increases your
yes.
endorphins, and stress and inflammation go hand in hand.
It does, yes.
So not sleeping well. If you exercise, you're going to sleep
You
well.
will, yes.
Because if you do this, you're going to be exhausted and go to bed and sleep like a log.
That's a huge point, Julia. Like if somebody says, okay, I have a hard time sleeping, is that how active is that person through the day, right? And also if somebody says, I don't eat breakfast, I'm not hungry in the morning, how late, first of all, what was your dinner that night before? How much carbohydrates did you have? How late did you eat them? Because guarantee if you're eating correctly, how we would prescribe you to eat from there, you're going to be relatively hungry in the morning when you wake up because your system is revved up. Also, you've essentially probably been fasting for about 12 hours, when you go to sleep from there. So, behaviors and habits, good behaviors and good habits will be revolutionary to progress.
So this is about making greater happiness as well, which
my gosh, yes.
we're all in
Yeah.
for. So talk about bone density and resistance, because for women, especially somebody like me,
Yes.
it's a huge issue
is.
because, look, I'm also Dr. Supplement, as everybody knows, and strontium is one of the things that I give people for bones, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
You have got to do not only resistance, but the right resistance.
So we have to load the spine and we have to load the hips. So what does that mean? What you cannot be is sitting down doing big box gym type, going machine to machine. You're essentially training your extremities. Your core is disengaged, so you're not loading the spine, you're not loading the hips, so you're not getting that pulling of those postural muscles to help prevent osteoporotic prevention from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, if you're not engaging the core, your risk of getting hurt.
Oh my gosh.
And your
yes.
back is just monumental, and that plagues you forever.
It does.
So we're also talking about prevention here in the sense of, look, your core being strong, and that's your butt, your abdomen, and it's your pelvic girdle as well.
You got it. It's your whole entire pillar muscles. So as far as it is loading, is for your glutes, your core, and your scapular muscles as far as that. So those are the big posture muscles that we really need to emphasize on and improve.
And also, as people walk around, as they sit, whatever, the things about keeping those latissimus, these big muscles back here, and the scapula, and those muscles that are between your scapula,
pulling back, nice
and
big
pull your chest out, ladies and men, so that you're always engaging those muscles, even passively, even if you're not loading them, but passively.
And that's why, as far as we talk about as far as core exercise, that's why the plank is the king of the core exercise from there. Because if we're sitting here, as we all sit too much throughout our lives, and Julia's working with patients, bent over from there, if we're just constantly doing crunches, we're making all this area shorter. So it's actually promoting back pain, promoting bad posture, promoting forward slump this way. So that's why we need to stand up, we need to squeeze our butt nice and tall, and we need to retract and pull back the shoulders. As far as that, I'll get into that demonstration a little bit further.
And then also for athletes, for golfers, the whole core issue and the exercises that you do, it's why pro athletes seek you out, is because it's not just about prevention, it's about optimization of their performance.
It is, yes. And
longevity of career.
Yes, and we create a strategy where, just like the professional athletes we serve, you'll be able to have that same exact program.
Okay, so did we forget anything that we need to talk about? I don't think so, and we're trying to keep an eye on the clock. So I think what's most important is for him to show you what you need to be doing at home, that you need to assimilate into your schedule. Now, this is another thing, is the self-discipline of exercise. Can you give a little advice to people about carving out some time? How much do they need to exercise per week? Give people an overview of ideally versus what's minimal.
Sure.
to move forward, to progress?
Yeah, I think it starts with, for me personally and the people that I've worked with, you have to have a why as far as why you're doing something. So you might want, that needs to be really concrete, because when you need to get out of bed and you don't have that concrete why of why you're doing it, it's so much easier to hit the snooze and just kind of blow it off that day. We all have been guilty of that. I know myself, I have as well. But having a definitive why, what you're doing something, and getting really, really crystal clear would be foremost to get that mindset, keyed from there.
Right.
But then this exercise as little as 2 and 3 times a week, but done correctly. So just imagine, we want to fill all the major buckets. A lot of times, as we talked about, we don't want to be a menu picker where we just say, okay, I like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And most of the time, the stuff you're choosing, you're typically good at. Meaning, so that's why you like it from there.
Right.
You're not really understanding.
It's easier for you. It's not killing you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to fill all the necessary buckets, and essentially there's 6 major buckets from a performance. I'll show you what's going on shortly here. But then we have nutrition as well. So we'll make it super simple for you. And when I give my demonstration here, we'll make it show you why it needs to be done in this specific order. But biggest thing is we want to fill all the buckets. We don't want to have 2 buckets and they're overflowing, like most of the time, say cardio and even only strength.
Because then you get out of balance.
You got out of balance. Well, these buckets are here and these buckets are empty right here. So we need to make sure every bucket's, has a minimum effective dosage. It's almost like take your meds, your minimum effective dosage with all of your buckets.
Right.
So it's nice and balanced. So that's why that's the thing. You want to take the minimum effective dosage in each particular bucket, and we'll show you here shortly.
And then the other thing, last, and then I'll stop talking, is the motivation. I think, as far as why, because I'm all about the why. Everybody knows that. Is the motivation is when you, number one, feel so much better. You see, if you have your blood work done, you see your numbers better, your skin is better, okay? But most importantly, if you're struggling with metabolic syndrome and the weight that we all gain generally as we go down the path of life, if you're struggling with that, to see that melt away and to feel good whole body and to have your mood better, and it makes you in a happier place, just more mellow. Things don't upset you so much in today's stress-filled world. And also to know that you're preventing disease. And it is a huge problem in today's world, and an increasing problem. Diseases we see that doctors a generation ago never even heard of. And so all this is the core of health, along with exercise, with diet. So let's go to...
And it's never too late, too, because when they're 75 years old, and they're better at 75 than we're at 74, and so we're from there. So, I always used to give an analogy. Outside of Michael Phelps, who peaked at roughly 28 in the Olympics, where his training age was 20-some years, okay? Where if somebody's starting out and say you're 70 out there, you're 50, or even 40 from there, somewhere along there, you're just starting out with fitness, you can be better this year, you can be better next year, you can be better the year after that, but it's following a specific strategy and education and doing that, and just having created a routine, contacting one of us here for guidance, and providing the right system.
And also, other motivation is you see it quickly with this methodology.
Absolutely.
And I think that is part of what provides huge motivation. And you sweat, and certainly I know from doing it, but I have never felt better. And I know from having dealt with other people over the years, nothing has worked better and nothing has worked more quickly. And I have seen nothing that worked for people of every age and quickly. So that's what speaks tones to me.
Oh yeah, and this is the same program we do at the PGA Tour since 2015 as well. So we've tested this system over 5,000 training sessions at the PGA Tour. So this is what we're going to show you here shortly.
And that core is very important when you're swinging a golf club.
Absolutely, very much well said.
Okay.
All right, hello everyone. We're starting off with self-myofascial release, and that's just a fancy name for foam rolling. So we're going to grab your foam roller. We're going to talk about the top 3 areas we always need to foam roll. First is going to be the glute. So why we need to foam roll? Imagine foam roll, your muscles are supposed to slide just like this. When they get gunked up, we've had that pain, it's called a trigger point. What that actually is imagine if you have your hair, I don't have any hair, but imagine if I did, almost like a piece of gum getting stuck in the hair. It's just like this gunked up, so it doesn't allow the muscle fibers to slide. So what we need to do is, just like a typical massage, we're using, as you would be at a massage therapist, or now we're using a foam roller, we're gonna iron those areas out. So our first exercise is gonna be, first area is gonna be on the glute. So I'm gonna roll just like this initially from here, okay? To increase the stretch, I'm gonna put my right hip in external rotation. So all I'm gonna do is just cross this leg just like this. Okay, I'm thinking 5 to 10 rolls on the glute. Right from there, I'm just gonna see, it just assess this tissue, see if there's any pain there. That's gonna be our first exercise from there. So addressing hip external rotation. Next, I'm gonna go to thoracic spine. I'm gonna put this area right between my shoulder blades. So I'm gonna address this from here. I'm gonna support my head and my neck. I'm gonna roll in the top 2/3. And once again, I'm looking at just 5 to 10 rolls. It can be very quick, doesn't have to be a lot of time. Okay, so I'm addressing this area, and I'll show you this will mean more why we're doing these areas when I get into our mobility. So just think, so we're addressing hips first, then we're gonna address the thoracic spine, number 2. Number 3 is we're gonna address quad. So it's gonna be just like this. So if anybody ever has knee pain that's just kind of like, it just kind of comes up, you don't really know why, most of the time, it's gonna be coming from a tight quad. So we're gonna address that tissue right now. Okay, all right, from here, just think 5 to 10 rolls. Just above the knee to just above the hip, right there. Good. I can bend the knee to put it on the quad on a stretch a little bit. That just increases the stretch while I'm going through that area. Perfect. So just think, so the top 3 areas, and actually Julia's gonna give you a PDF, a book that I created that has this whole entire routine with it. So it gives a whole breakdown. So she'll come in with that. So just think, so the top 3 areas for self-myofascial release foam rolling, we have the glute, we have the thoracic spine, and we have the quad. Okay, so then this is where you do, and why we need to do this pre-exercise is because we have to prepare the tissues for movement. Okay, so step 1, so we did this from a standpoint, this is gonna be our pre-work as far as for foam rolling. Actually, step 1 of our program is all about mobility. So, because I addressed the tissues of my glute, now I'm gonna show you how to improve the mobility aspect of the hip. Okay, this is called a 90-degree hip stretch. My leg is from here. If this is too aggressive, I'm just gonna be down just right from here, and I'm gonna lean forward. Okay, right from there, I'm gonna lean in again, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to show you the other side as well. So foot is going to be here, right from just like this. I'm going to lean in. Hold, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come back out. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. If that is too easy, I'm going to hold this foot and I'm just going to come back up like this, right from here. My hip is up. I'm working on that hip external rotation. Everything is down, and I'm just going to focus on my breathing. Right from there, exhale, 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 coming back up, one more time, exhale, addressing hip external rotation, okay? Now, remember we treated our thoracic spine on our upper back, now we're gonna do thoracic rotation. I'm gonna be sit just like this, my knees are gonna be together, my hands are gonna be here, I'm gonna open all this area up, and I'm going back, and I'm looking at my hand, I'm driving my right shoulder blade down. I'm coming back again. This hand sets my hip to make sure I don't move through my lumbar spine. I'm gonna reach, eyes always follow the hand all the way over, following the hand, following the hand, following the hand. There, we're gonna go one more time. I'm locking the hip down with this, making sure I do not move here. I'm gonna reach, and then I'm gonna go. All the way here, I'm focusing on my right shoulder blade moving down, not necessarily my hand, I'm focusing on my right shoulder blade. Push down, 1, 2, 3, exhale, and then I'm gonna go.
And how many of those do you do? So you do it on either side?
Yeah, but you're doing both sides. Yeah, but great question, Julia. From there, you're going to do, I like to, from a standpoint, I like less reps overall, but more time. I really want you to focus on your breathing. Just think with every breath cycle, you want to go deeper into the stretch. So if I'm in that 90-degree hip stretch, I'm breathing, I'm trying to drive deeper and deeper, deeper. When I have that that thoracic rotation of this way, with every breath, I'm trying to drive my hips one way and my thoracic spine the other way. So for all you golfers out there, and even from a human movement standpoint, that's where we go optimal from there. So we did our self-myofascial release tissue work. We addressed the mobility aspect of our glutes, of our hips, and our thoracic spine. Now we're gonna go activation. Remember we talked about how we're gonna improve posture in 3 steps, and now I'm gonna show you. So, key on this. So I just have a mini band just to show you this is where more advanced, we'd put miniband over the top of this, but I'm going to show you first and foremost here. So the key is improving lower body posture. We're going to address the glutes here. We're going to address the core stability. And we're also going to address, scapular activation, the backside. First exercise is just do a basic glute bridge right from here. I'm laying back down from here. So we're working on hip extension. Toes are going to be up. Palms are going to be up just like this. I'm going to focus all the way here and I'm going to squeeze. I'm exhaling as I go back. Notice how I'm trying to create a straight line from my knees all the way to my shoulders. I'm going to hold for a 5 count and then I'm going to come back down, driving up again, exhale right from here. If you ever feel any type of pressure in the low back, it means that my core is not on. So first thing first, I'm going to engage my core first, then I'm going to go back up. If my core is off, I could lumbar extend, which I do not want. So I'm going to engage my core first, palms here, core tight. So I always want to make sure my core is tight at the top. I'm creating a straight line from my knees to my shoulders. I'm going to hold for a 5 count, and then I'm going to come back down. So that's first bucket, working on hip extension. Now we're just going to do a simple plank. So just think, we're stabilize the hips with the glute bridge. We're going to stabilize the core with core activation from our core stability is going to be next. And a basic plank could be done on the ground. It could be elevated onto a bench off of your bed at home. I'm going to speed right from here, just like this. I'm coming down. I'm locked in right from there. Key is on the plank, I always want my hips to be a little bit taller if necessary. So I'll always take my hips 1 inch higher than 1 inch lower on the plank. So coming back down again, I'm here. Okay, 1 inch higher is good. Ideally, I'm going to lock it down where it's completely straight, just like this. However, if that's too challenging for me and I need to go here, that is good. That's completely fine. What's not good is lumbar extension. That's not good at all. So right from here, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to squeeze right from here. And so from a plank position, it could be just starting out holding 10 seconds. It could be holding 15 seconds. It could be up to 60 seconds. That's fine. So biggest thing is you can do it whatever capacity. Try to lock it in, but if you only have 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you can perform it perfectly, or where the hips are a little bit higher, beautiful. That's fine. There's your plank position right from there. Our second exercise in our pillar bucket, we address the glutes. We address the core. Our third area to improve posture, right? We hit our glute bridge for hip extension to improve lower body posture. Now we're going to improve our shoulder blades from here for our scapular stability. I'm lying down just like this, super simple, okay? You can put a pillow underneath your head to have this. If not, biggest thing is keep your head down. I'm going to reach out right from here and I'm going to squeeze. I'm working on my upper body posture just right from here. Back down, up and squeeze again. 1, 2, 3. Back down, back up. 1, 2, and 3. So let's just recap what we did here. Okay. So from a postural standpoint, what we did. So just think, with somebody that you've all seen with not good posture, right? The person that's down here, and they unfortunately, this is how they walk. And I'm not making fun of that people. But they lost 2 critical things. They only lost the ability to hip extend. Just imagine, so a person that walks that we've all seen like this is how we can prove it. So we say here, imagine if I said, okay, this person can glute bridge now. Zzz, lower body posture here, right? And we can also retract the shoulder blades. The Y raise from here. So immediately, if you're able to do the glute bridge hip extension, look what it did to my lower body posture. And even if I'm still like this, I'm able to Y raise this way and retract the shoulder blades. So I'm immediately back tall and again. So just think, so that's why fitness is a system. So now we go from here. So after we activated glutes, we've activated core, we've activated our shoulder blades for improving posture. Now this medicine ball signifies power. Now we're going all the way from here. So this is actually step 3. So from a power standpoint, we're ready to go. So all you golfers out here, this is where power goes, because if power is done, imagine we do power first. Not good, right? We're not prepared for that. And then if we do power at the very end, you're already tired, so you can't generate force. So with power, we want, imagine 100% effort, but maximal recovery if needed. So we're going to keep power essentially very, very low reps, say a set of 5. So this, I'm going to be right from here. I'm picking up, just like this. I'm pressing up. Slam right from here. So key is on this, when I address this, I'm going to make sure the posture, so this would be incorrect, is if I slam it and my posture breaks where the tailbone tucks under. So biggest thing is anybody can throw something hard and have the rest of the body break down. However, we need to be able to do something or move explosively or catch ourselves and be under complete control. So back to my demonstration again from here. I'm this way, my arms are up, my core is tight. I can throw it down and I can stabilize. Just like that. So with our power segment, We want to keep our reps roughly around 5, because once again, I want to throw it as hard as I can. If I get winded and I need to say, okay, I need to take a second, because we're going to say, okay, we're only doing 5 reps. If you need a few seconds in between each rep, that's completely fine. So just from our sequence steps, power has to be here. If we do power earlier on in the workout or later in the workout, as you can imagine, if I had like a mile per hour gauge on the ball, this is where you would have the maximum miles per hour for the ball. If I did it here, you wouldn't be activated and potentially hurt yourself. If we did it over there, we're going to have way less power because we're already tired, right? So you'll see from there. So power always has to be in step 3. Now we're going to go on to functional strength. Okay, this is going to be step 4. Okay, so this is where all of our squatting, but I'm going to tell you very, very specifically how to train for strength. Okay, the body is actually trained in 4 particular quadrants. So just imagine I'm standing from here. With every workout, it performs 6 systems, but I'm going to tell you exactly how to optimize strength. Okay, and it's by 4 specific movements in 4 specific quadrants. So just imagine I need to do something in this lower body area. This is my lower body push. This is my lower body pull. This is my upper body push section. This is my upper body pull section from here. So just imagine, I have a lower body push, I have a lower body pull. I have an upper body push, I have an upper body pull. So let me give you an example of what it would be, okay? So just think, for my lower body pull on the backside, okay, I can do a specific reach. I can do like a basic, so very simple from here. I'm just gonna push my hips back, right from here. I'm pushing hips back. Key is on this is I need to make sure my low back is completely flat. So this would be correct. This would be incorrect where my low back is vulnerable. So I'm chest out nice and tall, my glutes are engaged. My first number 1 component is my butt going straight back. My shoulders are back this way. I'm pushing my hips back. I want to feel my hamstrings engaged. So I'm right from here, nice and control. I'm feeling my hamstrings. I'm coming back up and squeezing the butt through. Nice and control. I'm pushing my butt back, feeling the hamstrings, and then I'm coming back through, squeeze. Okay, I'm gonna do one more time. Pushing butt back. Once again, my goal is our lower body pull section on the back. From here, exhale up. Now I'm gonna go into our lower body push. It would be just a basic squat. So I'm gonna do a goblet squat. Right from here, I'm pressing out. Right from here, and then I'm coming back up. I'll do one more time. And then I'm coming back up. Okay. But first, I'm going to show you exactly how you will be able to coach everybody. How deep should a person, I'm going to kind of go off the cuff a little bit. How deep should a person squat? Okay, I'll show you here. It's called a butt wink. Okay, I'll show you what that exactly means. So you'll be able to walk around the gym, everybody like, let me see you squat. You'll know exactly how to say, okay, go squat, squat, squat. Stop right there. I'll show you right now. So watch this from the hips. If I'm able to, when I'm pushing this way from here, if my butt tucks under and starts doing this, like almost like old man posture from the butt standpoint, okay, it completely turns my glutes off and my lower body and my low back is completely vulnerable. So as far as how deep should a squat be for you, is all depends on how you can control the pelvis. And what turns the pelvis under to turn the glutes off is all this tight posterior chain. So that's where it's critical to continue with the foam rolling and continue with our flexibility segment we have coming up here shortly. So watch this. I'm squatting, I'm squatting, I'm squatting, I'm squatting. Say that's as far as I get because it pulls my tailbone under. I know I'm gonna go just short of that. So if I just go here and this is right here, this could be my squat, and I come back up and I'm completely safe. This upper body aspect could be just a push-up from here. Okay, it could be on a wall, it could be off of a bed, it could be off of a chair, it could be just simply off the ground just this way. And if that's too challenging at all, it could just be holding a tall plank, holding the push-up position just like this, right from here. This would solve and qualify for that upper body push right from there. If it's a push-up, it's right from here. Once again, I'm going to exhale upon the exertion phase. I'm inhaling down, core tight, and then push. And that's why the push-up is so functional, because what's a push-up? It's just a plank with a push. Very simple. So that would qualify as our upper body push section. Our upper body pull. Now we have an upper body pull on the backside. This could be a TRX row. This could be a vertical pull as well. This could be having just a regular band, and I'm pulling this way. Okay, so just think from all this strength button, we only do one exercise in this. So just think a lower body push, a lower body pull, an upper body push, and an upper body pull. Perfect. Okay, so now once we satisfy our functional strength bucket, now we're going into our energy, and that's the
Okay, so wait, hang
Yes.
on one second.
Yes.
Talk about the hamstrings versus the quads.
Okay, so great segment from there, Julia. Most of the time, we live in a quad dominant world. Everybody wants to generate power with the quads. That's why there's so much inefficiency from the standpoint. We're not supposed to generate power with our quads. We're supposed to generate power with our glutes and our hamstrings. So from a standpoint, we need to make sure we're really, really emphasizing this. So in terms of what I want you doing, more squats or more glute bridges on the backside, more hamstring reaches. Say if I had just a simple here, a single leg deadlift where I'm just gonna reach and touch maybe a cone or reach from there and I'm coming back. So I really wanna emphasize as much as possible from that glute and hamstring function as opposed to the quads. Yeah, excellent. And then back over here, okay, so now we're ready for our energy right from here. So key on this just signifies, this could be where you, this could be where you go for a run right now from there. So you've already activated everything, but this is the cardiovascular component. Once you go through this, you should not be 100% fresh by the time you get to bucket number 5, right? So we're gonna say from here, we've already done all of our great work, we're ready to go. We might have, say, 10, 15% left in the tank, and now we're gonna go for it. So just we have this as a rope, this could be stationary bike, this could be any other fitness equipment you've ever heard of from a cardiovascular standpoint, this is where it goes. So I'm locked in. Once again, real critical. If I'm ever in this posture, I need to make sure my lumbar spine is correct. So we want no butt wink. We want no old man tucked in posture, just like this. We need to make sure our chest is out, our butt is out simultaneously as well. So I'm gonna be just right from here. I'm locked in. Everything is set. My core is engaged. My glutes are engaged because I already pre-activated them over there. Okay, my glutes are engaged. My core is engaged. My shoulder blades are pulled back. I'm ready to deliver force to the rope. I'm locked in, and I'm just gonna go, just like this. Tap, 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 tap. Just playing the drums right here. So what I want to do is make sure I'm stabilized because we never want to just incorporate, if this is bad form like this and you're doing ropes, the shoulders are going to break down. It's going to be a big mess. So biggest thing, we want to generate force to the rope, but we want to make sure our pelvis and our pillar muscles, glutes, core, and our shoulder blade are stabilized. So we want those posture muscles to stay engaged to deliver maximum force to the rope. So right from here, from an interval standpoint, I like 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. Could be 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, but those two are a great place to start. They're easy, but once again, I want you to go as hard as you can, as hard as you can. I'm going to get after it right from here. Tap, 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 just like that. Hard as I can from here. This is where your interval segment is. So this could be, say, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You could do 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off, a whole number of different intervals. But the biggest thing is this is the time we go hard and then we rest. Try to steer with that 1-to-1 ratio. So like 20 seconds on and 20 seconds off to start with. So this is the cardiovascular bucket, energy, step number 5. Okay, so once we did all of our cardio, we've fulfilled all of our buckets. Now the time we made it to the final step, step 6, and it's our recovery bucket. So this is where we do our active isolated stretching. Okay, so this is our recovery piece, and where we bring the body back into balance, address asymmetries, and we want our right side and our left side to be completely the same. Key on this one from this, if you can, we really want to stress the aspect of active isolated stretching. What that is say if you make a muscle, so this is a fancy name for we're going to squeeze one side of the muscle body and allows the other side to relax. So if I make a muscle, if a bicep here, if the bicep is on, the tricep is off. If I flex the tricep is on, bicep is off. And how we're going to signify this, so I'm going to put this around, I'm just going to do a basic hamstring stretch. Okay, back down just like this, okay? Right from here, legs are here. As opposed to just yanking my hamstring up this way, I'm going to squeeze my quadricep, knowing by that law of reciprocal inhibition, when I squeeze my quad, my hamstring is going to be relaxed. So as opposed to fighting my hamstring, I'm squeezing my quadricep and allowing my hamstring to be completely relaxed. Same thing if I wanted to address my calf. What would I need to do? I'm going to squeeze my anterior tibialis. I'm going to squeeze my shin muscle. So right from here, I'm going to pull back, but I'm going to squeeze here first and foremost, and then I'm going to do a gentle assist, say 20-30% with the strap, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to squeeze back down again. I'm going to hold for a 1, 2. I'm going to come back out. I'm going to hold for a 1, 2, back out. I'm squeezing my anterior tib, my shin muscle, my right shin, hold for 1, 2, coming back out. The same strategy all the way from here. So say I'm going to open up my hamstrings now. I'm going to squeeze my right quadricep. I'm coming back up. I'm raising the strap up. I'm raising my leg up with the leg, not with the strap. And then at the top, I'm going to assist into the stretch. There we go. All the way back down. Coming back up, I'm squeezing that right quad. I'm assisting into the stretch. Good. Let me go one more time. Squeezing the quad all the way back up. Exhale, make sure you breathe into the stretch, and then coming back down. And I'm going to go all the way, and we have a whole entire routine that's in the book that we have with Julie that you'll be able to get for free as our gift for coming and viewing today and ongoing from there. So just to recap, our 6 steps, but we first start with, we have to prepare the tissues with self-myofascial release, our foam rolling first. We got to get all the gunks out and iron everything out. Step 1 is our mobility. Key is making sure we address the hips and the thoracic spine. On pillar, step 2, we need to make sure we're addressing glutes, core, and shoulder blades. Those are all the postural muscles. We don't want to walk like this, so we need glute activation this way and to bring those shoulder blades back, okay? Step 3 is our power bucket. We're going to go all out. Think low reps, think 5 reps, but you're going to go as hard as you can. But you can also have maximum recovery, so it's not just going one after the other. Go as hard as you can for 5 and then rest as long as you need to. Remember, we talked about our functional strength, okay? From there, we need to make sure we cover 4 different buckets. We're back over here. Let me step back over here. Follow me. Okay, back over here. Lower body push, lower body pull, upper body push, upper body pull. Here's our energy, our cardiovascular bucket, step 5, and then our recovery bucket, step 6. So if you've seen, those are the Perform 6 system that you'll be able to use at home anytime.
Okay, so let me interject myself here for a second, because this is what's really important, which you can get online.
Absolutely, yes.
And also, this explains this because Gabe can speak really quickly.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And it's because he knows so much and he's trying to get so much information out to you. And the other thing that, look, whether if somebody is just starting, as far as the cardiovascular part, that could be starting out by taking a walk,
anything,
getting on a bicycle.
Yeah.
How long should the cardiovascular part go on?
You know, it can be as much as you want to, but it doesn't have to be. I'd rather have it more intense, but also, so if you have a walk, okay, I'm going to pick a car out in where I see a little bit, maybe 50 yards away. I'm going to walk hard, but then if I need to come back down after that, I'm going to do that. So it's more of like an interval.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the stretch part we talked about, and then apropos of the foam rolling, it's those trigger points, because people have a lot of trigger points.
A lot of trigger points, yes.
And it's about the muscles need to be worked out because they do get all gunked up.
They do,
And
yes.
the whole stretch part is an essential piece of this puzzle as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For people doing that. And then one of the things which I have a really hard time with, but which is really essential for golfers, I don't know how it goes for tennis players, it's more about the core, right? About their butt. But, you know, the whole thing about feeling your hamstrings and sticking your butt out, which I think women have a hard time doing.
Sure.
And then women, you know, have a hard time, I think, you know, sticking their chest out.
Yes.
But that's also an essential piece, and also
and that's honestly
in between your shoulder blades.
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to move. So it's not like we're saying you have to do certain things of stick the chest out and stick the butt out from there. That's how we're designed to move. That's called movement efficiency from a standpoint. If I'm going to do a rotation, I have to stick my rear out. If I go back into this way and I have this is not out, what is going to be out is my low back. So I'm going to try to generate force with my quads and my low back, and that's a recipe for a disaster. So it's how we're saying as far as having hips out and posture back, that's efficient movement.
Right.
Yes.
And also it counters everything.
It does, absolutely.
That we're doing in today's world as we sit there on the computer, on our devices, all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And then a lot of people think that sit-ups are the thing to do, but in fact, that's not the best way. It's not a good way to do the core, because when you're bringing your butt in, you're tightening your muscles, and that seems to tighten them. Because look, I've done the sit-ups and whatever, and this tightens them infinitely better.
Oh, yes.
Your whole lower part of your body, and for women, that's essential. Never mind, everything that you're doing is building arm strength muscle. And just to remind people, the skin is attached to the muscles. So if you're tightening the muscles, you're getting better skin and you're getting rid of the crinkles and the wrinkles too.
As we talked about from the standpoint from our pillar segment, is why you need to do the glutes, core, and the shoulder blades from a standpoint, because if we're only doing more crunches and more sitting, we're
pulling
we're
ourselves
pulling everything
over,
down in this way
and we're
more.
not doing
So
the
yeah,
back
you
part.
got it. So that's what. But just think from just a basic plank. All we're training the entire cylinder of the body. So that's why the plank is just such the best exercise, because anybody can do it. You can make it harder, you can make it easier. But biggest thing is when you're in that plank position, you're training the entire core. You're training the whole entire system to stabilize. So
And you're keeping your stomach tight.
Yes.
You're tucking your butt under, but you're not.
you're maintaining, essentially, you want to have a straight board down. So glutes are engaged, core is engaged, shoulder blades are engaged. So it encompasses the whole entire pillar that we talked about as far as glutes, core, and shoulder stabilization.
And the shoulder blades, the other thing is, one of the things you touched on, which I think is really essential, is look, people can do push-ups, whether it be against the wall,
Oh, yes.
off the bed,
Yes.
off of a piece of furniture.
Yes.
And what that's doing is making them stand up and getting those muscles
Yeah.
between the shoulder blades,
Yeah.
which is essential
Yeah.
for not ending
Yeah,
up
we
like
call
this as well.
we call a push-up. All a push-up is a plank with a push. That's it. So your plank position, and I'm adding a push to it. So what would be the incorrect way to do it would be you're trying to do a push-up, but you lose the plank.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing is, even if you've got bone density issues, okay, you do this and you will watch your bone density testing
Yes.
improve exponentially. Now, you've got to eat, you've got to be alkaline, et cetera, strontium, whatever, but this is the essential piece of the puzzle, which is what I want to emphasize to people,
course.
is this is, first there's diet, and then there's exercise, but you've got to do it correctly.
correct way. And make sure you fill all your buckets out there as well. So it's not just putting just a menu picker. I'm just going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and expecting great results. So as you can tell, fitness is a system, which we just already outlined today.
So the other thing is, reminder, get this, because this will explain, and you can read and reread,
absolutely. Plus, we'll be able to get in contact
Gabe's
with me as well.
website, which is perform6.com. And thank you,
Thank you so much.
immeasurably for
Thank you
doing this
so
for
much.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I hope this was good.